Hi everyone, good evening. It's a very quick impromptu video that I'm doing here because I just wanted to get some clarification about a situation that I was in yesterday during the festival celebration, and my mindset was not that great as of last evening to have recorded and posted this here on this channel. But I'm just posting this today so that I can just explain the type of situation that I was in and also try to figure out if there are any experts or people who have been in this situation in the past, or probably somebody from a higher authority who can actually comment and tell if this is a correct way of handling the things. Now it's 25th of October, Sunday, 10:45 a.m. That was yesterday, and just like what I've been doing over the last probably I would say 15 years, I had parked my car in the exact same place where I typically do the puja. And as of yesterday morning, when I told you the time 10:45, I was putting the flowers and doing some basic stuff near my car, and I just put the flower and I just turned towards my gate, and I could hear there was a vehicle. This was specifically a Tata Ace, which was coming from the main road side towards our house or going beyond the place. And within a fraction of a second or whatever, I heard like a big thud kind of a sound. And when I turned back, I noticed that the back gate or the door of the Tata Ace was open and it was like flapping around, and that apparently hit my car. So I immediately rushed towards the back of the car to see what has happened. And coincidentally, this driver also stopped the vehicle. And when I went back and saw, my entire the back of the car, the glass, the windshield had got shattered. It was completely gone because this was like a metal gate that had actually hit the glass and it was completely shattered. And this driver comes out to see the situation, and me and my neighbor who was also there right in front of me when this happened, we just like try to, like, I mean, out of the moment we just try to shout at him, like, can't you even realize, like, he was coming, he was fast, to be very explicit, he was fast. And the second thing was, and he was driving in a crossroad, and second thing is his vehicle doors were open and it was flapping around. It was metal door, it was flapping around, and he was not even probably aware of it. He tried to substantiate by telling that there was a car that was behind him, and that was honking continuously, and he had to drive fast to make sure that he gives way, but that was not acceptable. Now the situation turned into argument and all the stuff. We realized that this vehicle is an Amazon delivery vehicle and he was a driver, and we kept on the fight continued for the next several minutes. The fight continued, and I just immediately I called up, I wanted him to reimburse the amount of the particular glass, and I immediately called up the service center, the Nissan service center here in Bangalore. Apparently it was closed just because it was a Sunday yesterday, and also it's a festival day. So now the lady who picked up the phone, apparently it's a mobile number, so there was a lady who picked up the phone who was helpful enough to actually tell me what is the actual cost of the approximate cost rather of the glass, and what could be the potential, like the fitting charges and all those stuff. We didn't talk about any of the insurance stuff as of that moment. I just asked about the glass cost, which comes up to around 10 to 11,000 including GST. This is not accurate cost because she had to go back to her office to check it, but she could tell it from whatever resource that she has handy. Now I just told this guy that he has to pay me about 12,000 rupees, and otherwise, like, I mean, he has to do it. That's obvious stuff. Now this guy was not ready to do that. Okay, he told, like, I don't have that much money, and it will not. And his counter argument was that he told that it will not cost so much. And I called the service center again. I took the risk of, like, disturbing or troubling that lady who was actually at her home celebrating festival. I called her up again and I asked her to tell the amount, even when she told that it is that XYZ 1,000 rupees. This guy was not ready to accept it, and he was telling that it will cost way less than that. So my initial thing, like, was, I told, like, okay, if he really thinks it costs like less than 50% of what I told him, inquire or get it done now. And he tried to reach out to his friends or fellow drivers or whoever to figure out from other so-called local shops to figure out the actual cost of a Nissan Kicks back glass. So one of them, like there is one pretty old shop quite close to my house, like about a couple of kilometers from where I stay, and he tried to reach out to someone to go to that shop and figure out what's the cost. Now, point number one is Nissan Kicks a relatively newer car, okay, and second thing is there is not many Nissan Kicks out in the road, so that's an obvious thing. There is like they will not stock it up, okay. Even the service center, I'm not really sure if they really have a stock of it, or after I leave it for the replacement, then they'll order and procure it. That's second thing. So now he tried to do that, and he couldn't get hold of the information because the shop was closed, and he tried to argue that it should cost you less than like 5,000 or whatever, and it's not that much. And at that point of time he was telling that he has only about like 2,000 or 2,500 rupees in his pocket, and he'll give that. He is not ready to even pay the amount that he himself feels that's the cost of the glass. Now at this point of time he started to tell that no, this is what I can do whatever you want. He literally, like, I mean, I don't know if I should really call it as arrogant or overconfidence or whatever. He started telling that you do whatever you want, this is what I have and this is what I can give. And at no point during all this conversation he was ready to let us know the contact details of his owner, the vehicle owner or anything, because he's like kind of a contractor or a driver for this particular vehicle, and this is subcontracted to Amazon delivery. And we tried to persuade him too much, but he didn't yield. And then we realized that the owner of the car is different from the person for whom he drives. So there is like one more middleman or agency who rents out this vehicle, and in turn hires drivers who can drive these vehicles to give out all this Amazon parcel or whatever is the transportation stuff. Now he was even bold enough to tell the statement that he told, like, if you really want, go ahead and lodge a police complaint, I'm ready to accept it. And he just sat there, like he just sat there telling that you do whatever you want. He actually gave his um, uh, vehicle keys, the Tata Ace keys, and also he gave his driving license, which was like a photocopy, but he gave it, and he told, like, you do whatever you want, this is me, I'm like, I've done the mistake, I don't have that much money to pay. And he just sat there. And after some time we managed to ask him to call up the agency at least, and told them to come and sort this issue out. Now this agency is run by a company which is apparently there in Chennai, and they have probably an office, or they might not also, but there was this one lady who is coordinating it from Bangalore. And she's not even from Bangalore, she's not even from Karnataka, and she's not even a Kannadiga. And when she started speaking to me, she was like trying to ask me like if I know any other language other than Kannada wherein she can converse with me. Eventually realized that she's a Christian and she can herself speak English comfortably. So we started speaking in English. So she started telling me, sir, you go ahead and give your car for service. I'll come and resolve your issue once the bill is ready. Now, how do I go and track this particular agency or whatever? And that too after like probably I would say like another 3 or 4 days after this incident. And we don't even know if they have a presence here in Bangalore, because the visiting card that they give has Chennai address. And who knows, like they can actually switch off the phone, or they can change the number or whatever, because like once this driver in the vehicle is released, they can escape. That's a little thing. So eventually I told her that you need to come here to my place, see the situation, do the payment, sort out the issue, take your vehicle and go. Now she agreed to come, which was strange or good, whatever I could say. But when she came with like whole lot of people, like, and she came in like in a car, like some cab kind of a thing, with some 3 4 guys, and couple of them were like quite literally, like I would say rowdies or gundas. They are not even related to her, but they're literally gundas, and they were standing in front of her and they was talking, and the conversation went so bad that one of the guys started raising his voice against my father, who was also there next to me while we were arguing regarding the situation. Even they were telling that they will not give the money. They are telling like, you let us go, you take our card, you call us once the issue is resolved, that is the glass is replaced, come to us with the bill and we'll reimburse it, which I didn't trust. But by no way I could trust them that they will do it, because they just wanted their vehicle to be let go, that's all. So now things started turning a little bit bad, and I started raising my voice, because this guy was trying to talk singularly with my father, and I couldn't control my temperament, and I started shouting at him, and all those stuff happened. And some of my neighbors came to the rescue. They just made sure that like they pulled me out of that conversation. And eventually, in between all these things, even before this vehicle, the travel agent or whatever, they came, I had already called the Hoysala. Okay, I had called the police control room. They in turn sent a Hoysala, and there was this one constable or whatever. He came, he saw the situation, and the first thing he asked, even when he called me, was he asked like, has anybody been hurt or any injury or anything to an individual? I told no, it's my vehicle. But still, all due respect to him, he came, he saw the situation, he wrote down my details and his vehicle details and all the stuff. He waited there for some time, and this driver was not cooperating, and that guy just told like, go ahead and sort this issue, tell your owner, sort out, get some money, give it to this person and sort it out. Otherwise it will be like, what will you do? And that guy was not ready to do it. And that guy is like, I mean, I'm okay. If you want to take me away to station, you take me, but I don't have money. I can't pay it. At this point of time, the Hoysala police, which is the like law and order police, they told me that they would inform the traffic police because this is an accident thing, and I have to reach out to the traffic police instead of the law and order. And they told that he has informed, and they told they'll come at any time. And in between all these things, this particular rowdy gang came, and we started shouting and all. They didn't turn up, and after about 3 or 4 calls, eventually one constable and one inspector came to the place. They took they told me to bring my car to the station, which is pretty close by, the Malleshwaram police station. And the constable who had come managed to pick up this the Tata Ace, and they told like they'll take it to the station. And in between all these things, the driver managed, this owner guys, they managed to send the driver back to some other location so that he can bring in another vehicle in which he can offload all this Amazon packages that was there, so that they can continue with the delivery when the vehicle is stuck here, because I told them that I'll not give the keys. So we went to the station. All this while, these guys were like, no, I'll not give money. Like, they're like turning out to be like arrogant, rude, and whatever it is like that. And they were not even ready to talk to the police. Even when they know that the police has come, they were like avoiding them. So eventually we went to the police station. The constable told me to give a complaint in the writing so that he'll convert it into an FIR. And while we were doing it, he told there are two situations now, two path in which this whole thing can go. One of the path is that I will either he or some other guy, they'll come and they will probably talk to this people who have come, the travel agent or the driver's boss or whoever it is. They speak to them, manage to figure out what is the maximum or what is the amount that they're ready to give, take that money and just close the chapter there. Literally close the chapter there, even if it is not the exact amount what it is. That the issue is like, I'm talking about like around 10 to 12,000 rupees. Even if they're ready to give like 50% of it or 25% of it, whatever it is, better to take that and close the case there. Or the second part is what he told that he wanted to make us aware of. Now this is the key part. Now he told that if we give a complaint, it is no brainer for him that it will take few minutes for him to lodge an FIR, seize both the vehicles, and considering that yesterday and today both are holidays, so they can go to the RTO and do the next set of stuff, and again go to the court and all those things on Tuesday or Wednesday. Until then, the vehicles will be there at the station. Now at this point of time, if they call him to the court, the driver to the court, and if they ask him like, did you actually do this mistake or whatever happened, and if he says, yes sir, I did, I hit the vehicle, yes it is my fault, if he agrees to it, then all that will happen is the judge, whoever is there in the court, he will put a case which is like, I mean, if I am right, it is under the section 279, which is reckless driving. And the fine for that is 1,000 rupees. Okay, so this is what will happen if the driver agrees. That is what he has to pay. Now by this time, this driver and his boss, everyone has managed to figure out what is this whole thing. That's why they were ready to go to the police station. Now if the court says he has to pay 1,000 rupees, all that he will do is pay the 1,000 rupees fine, and probably they have to hire one local lawyer to represent him, and they have to pay like some 1,000 rupees or what is what the cops were telling, which I'm not sure. My father himself being an advocate, he was not ready to accept that somebody will be available for 1,000 rupees. But the catch here is, if he agrees to pay the fine, he has to just pay 1,000 rupees and whatever is the lawyer fees, and not the 10,000 rupees what I'm supposed to get. Okay, end of the day, if you really go to the court, we will be left with nothing. We will not get any money or any stuff. We have to come back and get the issue resolved either with our own money or probably using the insurance money. So we'll not get even a single rupee if we go to the court, because if he agrees, which in all possibilities he will, they'll have to pay only about 1000 or 2000 rupees. That's it. Now this was the situation, and I think by this time, as I told you, these travel agents had already inquired about it and they were ready to do it rather than give this like 10 or 12,000 rupees. So eventually it happened like after a lot of discussion, like my father was also involved and all those stuff. And then eventually we decided that we'll ask somebody, one of our neighbors who had also accompanied us. We told them, like he was much comfortable talking to them. So, and then he just told like, uh, you give whatever you can. Okay. And they agreed to pay about 5,000 rupees. So they told like this is the max and we can't give even a single rupee more than this. And the reasoning that they were taking is like they told like they don't have money, because they told like they were doing festival, they came off. So eventually they don't have money and this is what they have. And again here also there was a goal mark, because they told like the lady who was the owner, she told that she has only 4,000 rupees and the 1,000 rupees she has to borrow from one another person and then give. Eventually they gave. I had some sort of doubt when I actually gave this 5,000 rupees, because it was all 500 denominations. And when I came home, I realized that it's all from the same series. So they probably have withdrawn that 5,000 rupees while coming to the station or whatever. But it's from the same series. It's not even that they borrowed from someone. They had only withdrawn 5,000 rupees or probably more, and given that 1,000 rupees to someone else, so that they can pretend like as if they're borrowing another 1,000 rupees from this guy. Now, eventually this was sorted. We had to take the complaint back, but we did give a sort of a writing that we might need an acknowledgement from the police station if there is a need be, that if I go to the service center and if this can be claimed using insurance, like if my vehicle is covered under bumper to bumper insurance, then there'll be about like according to the service center people, about 90% will be refunded by the insurance company, and if there is no bumper to bumper, then it's about 75%. But either of the case, they'll expect a letter from a police that one vehicle came and hit and we have lodged a complaint and all that stuff. So they agreed to give that if need be, which I can do it probably tomorrow, Tuesday, when I actually, before going to the service center, I can take it. That's not a point. But we left the place and I don't know what happened. Those guys were still around, so they were probably like, they might have to pay something for the cops and all that. I don't know. I don't have any visibility about it, and I don't want to comment anything about it. But this is the whole scenario. Now probably I took about like 10-15 minutes. I've explained the complete scenario, what happened across like 5-6 hours yesterday, in probably about 10 to 15 minutes. Now the thing is, if this is the case, my question comes now, if this is the case, then anybody, any vehicle can hit any other vehicle, okay, and just say that no, I'm not ready to pay the damages, okay, and they just say like, if you really want to lodge a complaint, go ahead and lodge it. And if that person, irrespective of whether it's a driver for some delivery agency or an individual like me, if they're ready to let go their vehicle, whatever they're driving which hit the other vehicle, because they know that if they go to the court and if I agree that yes I hit, then I have to pay only about 1,000 or 2,000 rupees, then everybody can take this kind of like a stupid reason for being reckless. Okay, that's my whole point. If the whole law says like this, that if there is no loss to any human being, if there is no injury or loss to any human, if it's only like two vehicles hitting each other and there's a damage, considerable amount of damage, and if the driver of the vehicle who has hit or was driving the main thing, if he agrees, then it is only the 1,000 rupees fine for the reckless driving, which is under with section 279 or whatever. If that's the case, then the whole system is absolute garbage. Okay, if I really like, if I'm really that reckless, I can actually go and drive my car or bike however I want. I can hit some vehicle like a Benz or Audi or BMW, whatever, and the damages there can run up to few lakhs. And all that I can tell him is go and lodge a complaint. I'll see you in the court, and in the court I go and agree. Then what's the point? I mean, is nobody here was ready to tell if there is any other way that we can take a money legally. Now, while speaking to my sister who resides in US, the way that she was explaining me, the way it works out, especially in India, I don't know about other countries, I don't remember how the situation was in UK, but the way it works in US is like, if somebody hits my car, then the payment for all the repairs and all the stuff for my car has to be borne by the insurance of the guy who hit my vehicle. Okay, in my case, forget about this. This driver does not even have money to eat the day's food. I don't even know if he has a possibility of having his own insurance, vehicle insurance, or whatever is the thing. Now, it obviously boils down to the fact that here I have to target the owner of the vehicle or probably the agency. One of these two might be having some kind of an insurance, which I assume, I don't know, they have to pay it. But there is no legal way of me going and claiming this money, whatever is the repair cost, be it like 5,000, 10,000, or 50,000. There is no legal way of me approaching that particular agency and getting the money from them legally through their insurance or whatever. And the cops themselves are telling that if they go to the court, they have to pay just 1,000 rupees, so that they won't lose anything and you will be under the loss. So better negotiate with them and take whatever they are giving, be it like 1,000 rupees or 5,000, or if they're really ready, take 10,000 and leave it out. So they, being tour operators, like travel agents, they know that they don't want to give that much money. They had fixed their mind for probably like 5,000 rupees, and they just wanted to close it there. Now this is what I'm really worried about. Like, as I told you, if this is how the law is and this is how the system works, and if there is no way at all that there is any way we can go ahead and claim, I'm not even talking about my insurance. Why should I go and claim my insurance for some mistake which I have not even done? Somebody came and hit. I mean, in that way, like the insurance thing itself, like if we have to claim our own insurance, then it's like a bigger bullshit than anything else. Okay. So somebody who is seeing this video, who is like knowledgeable enough in this matter of insurance or legal or police or traffic stuff and all those things, please explain me if this is the way it works or if there's really a way outside of this. I'm not telling you I can go back and fight in this case again, because I don't even know how to search those guys. I don't even want to do that. But I just really want to understand if this is the only way forward, that you have to negotiate in the spot, get whatever money you can, and then probably move on, or go to the court and make them pay about like whatever is the 1,000 rupees fine for the reckless driving and close it there. Is there no way at all, is what I want to know. I mean, if there are like automobile experts or motoring gurus or probably any cops who are seeing it, irrespective of whether you're from Bangalore or from outside Bangalore or Karnataka, please try to comment below this video, or probably I'll link my email ID there. Probably reach out to me and just tell me if this is the only way forward and this is how our uh, the law and all the stuff works. So please let me know if there is anything that you can help me out, or if this is the way we have to live our life, and whoever does any mistake can escape without having to pay any hefty fine. As a contextual tip, I was just talking to my neighbor sometime earlier in the day, and he was telling that one of his driver hit a BMW or Benz 1 or 2 years back, and the bill for that was around like somewhere around like 4 lakhs or something. The estimate was around 4 lakh rupees. And he told that the vehicle that hit the Benz itself will not cost 4 lakhs. So he told it like, either take my bike, so take my vehicle, or just leave me. Like, I mean, I just can't give you anything. Go ahead and claim your insurance. Okay, there is nothing much you can do about it. And eventually, it seems like they negotiated to a fact that both the guys were professional enough of dealing in such a way that that guy went ahead and claimed that insurance, and whatever was the difference amount, the 25% or 5%, 10%, he called him up and he told, and this guy paid that difference amount in cash. And these guys, like the one through whom I started facing the problem, they were not even ready to talk about anything like that. They just wanted to escape. They just wanted to make sure that their vehicle, their goods, and their driver is out of the scene. So I repeat the question. So please, somebody, let me know if this is the only way forward, and if there is no way that we can get out of the shit that we will be into when somebody hits a vehicle and the damage is pretty big. In my case, it was like probably about 10-15,000 rupees, but the damages might be big in some other cases. So is there no way other than insurance or this whatever this negotiated small amount that we can um, come out of all this stuff? So that's what I wanted to ask, and as I told you, it's a completely impromptu video. I didn't plan much about it. I just kept talking about it. I just realized I spoke for about some 25 minutes, but I hope it was worth it. Some information for people who don't know how things work, but if there is something that is there for me to learn, please do let me know in the comment section below. Thank you so much, and I'll be back with my regular vlogs and other stuff probably after a week or two. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care.